Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, the High Guy Jacobs, and today we've got another episode of School's in Session for you. Today bringing in a player named Rage, who is a very balanced player, truth be told. Played this game the longest time, playing as a balanced player, requiring to play infantry, ranged, and riders. And in this episode, we're going to dive him through why that might not be the best thing for him, why he might be better off switching entirely to the ridership percentage, and obviously pushing as hard as he can from there. Now, if you haven't already, and if you do like this series, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, fill out the notification bell, and share the channel with your friends to make sure that as many people get this information as possible. Other than that, let's dive into Rage's account. Let's take a look at 187 million and see what we can do for him to help him in this episode of School's in Session. Let's get into it. Okay. So, your main name is Rage, correct? That's what everyone knows you by? Rage, okay.
Yes, sir.
So let's start by clicking on your account. I want to take a look at what we've got for kills and deaths and all this kind of stuff. So click on your account. 186 million might, 708 million kills, mostly tier 4, tier 5, a little bit of tier 6. Okay, go to your more information, please. Okay, hero deaths, squad, 40 million. Okay, go down. I want to see your deaths, 31 million deaths. Okay, good. So the reason why we're looking at this is this kind of determines what kind of player you are, in the sense that, like, if you've got a good amount of kills, you've also got a good amount of deaths, that means you're participating in rallies, you're participating in garrisons, you're not just fighting in the field. You're not just losing troops endlessly in the field, you're actually using them where they should be. At least this is part of the metric and what we're looking for. So I appreciate that. Let's understand that right off the bat. Number 2, I believe the reason why you're coming here is because we're trying to hit a little bit harder for 186. Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, perfect. So let's back out and let's look at your equipment for a second. No, sorry, back in your profile. Yeah, there you go. I want to see what your equipment and parts is. So equipment and parts are looking to be quite balanced, more into the rider side of things. And a little bit into the backpack. Okay. It's not bad. I can appreciate the grind. And you said you've had this account now for about 8 months. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. So if you were to guess, just a ballpark estimation, how much do you think you spend a month?
Probably about, in between, depending on the month, between $500 and $1,000.
Okay. So on something like that, I mean, you do have more of a capability to start looking at, like possibly doing, 2 mains, like looking at working on more than one set at a time. The problem with this game, Rage, is the fact that it really wants you to spend a lot in order to make everything good. Okay? So we have to be really, really careful about that. And unless you're prepared to spend upwards of what could be $5,000 to $10,000 a month, working on all 3 is going to make you less efficient in those 3 skills. So the biggest kind of goal and the kind of focus that we want to do is to decide on 1 or maybe 2 main avenues to be really hyper-focusing our stuff into. Let the rest grow naturally. And looking at what you have, in my opinion, you're kind of already set up to do riders and ranged. Like, your infantry is there, but like you've got more into your backpack, which is heavier, more for what range needs. Your riders obviously have better equipment, and you're already fully refined on their equipment. So there's value to having your riders. Obviously, they're going to hit a little bit harder. But I look at this and I go, every single bit of equipment or parts or anything that we put into, not into riders or not into ranged, is going to kind of work it to slow you down a little bit. Right? Now,
right.
I'm not saying that you can't also incorporate it. It just comes down to a focus thing. If you focus more onto one, you'll have one hitting a lot harder. If you focus onto two, you'll have two hitting a little bit harder. If you focus on all three, you'll have three hitting, weaker by comparison. So that's going to come down to how much, where you spend your resources. But if I were you, I would look at focusing on riders and maybe a range set at the same time. Right? Focus heavily on your riders, make your riders a dominant force, and work on your ranged at the same time. Secondary to the purpose. Because if you go to your heroes for a second, let's go take a look at your heroes and make sure you've got good heroes to roll back on. You've got Felix Awakened, that's good. You've got Daryl, how is he looking? 5332. Okay, so you still got a little bit of work there. Chasey's Awakened, that's good. Do you have any transcending done on Chasey? You've got one. You haven't done the level yet, but you've done one. Are you just waiting to use the frags, or what's holding you up?
To be honest with you, that is something that I'm unfamiliar with, so I don't know if I've got enough or not.
Okay, so click the up button and let's look at it right now. I don't know how many frags you have on you. Go skill transcendence, because you've already got one level that you can do, right? So you've got one level in your ultimate weapon or in your super weapon, which means that you can transcend one skill. So click on skill. You have enough fragments to awaken one of her skills, to transcend one of her skills.
Okay.
So do I suggest you do that? Absolutely. I would suggest doing it on Hero Day, which I think is today, right? So if you are working for your TC, this would be a good time to use it. And then simply pick whichever of the 4 skills you want to do, which you think is going to be better for your playstyle. Now, I say what's going to be better on your playstyle because it depends on a couple of things. Correct me if I'm wrong. We were talking a little bit. You said in your alliance, you're kind of relied on to do a little bit of everything, right?
Correct.
Okay. So in that situation, you're expected to do a little bit of garrison, you're expected to do a little bit of rally, and you're expected to do a little bit of field fight, right?
Yes.
So what do you think is where your team needs you the most? Out of those 3 things, which one do you think your team needs you to do the most? Like out of the other players that you have in the field that could do these other roles, which one do you think they need you to do the most?
Well, so I got somebody who does a really good infantry garrison already.
Okay.
We only have one player currently at the point in time that's got really good garrison and field ranged.
Okay.
And
so you've got an infantry player and you've got a range player, correct?
Correct.
So this looks like you would be fitting into that rider position pretty nicely, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So in my opinion, I would suggest putting your resources into creating your riders to be your dominant force for that alliance, right? You still have your other ones that you can fall back on if you need to be like a secondary infantry defense or a secondary range defense. You still have that capability. But the problem is if we take all of that weight on our own shoulders, it's going to hinder our own performance because we're going to be expected to do so much with so little. Again, it's the premise of the game. Unless you're going to buy everything and have every option, we really have to think about where's the best, most efficient way to use our resources. Right?
Okay.
So looking at that, you have 4 skills out of Chasey's that you have the freedom to awaken at least one of them and get a benefit out of her, whether that's in garrison or whether you're using her on rallies or whether you're using her in the field. There are benefits to having her transcended as high as you can, especially because Chasey still is, they're really the top choice for the rider garrison side of things. You're either going to be running Chasey Felix or Chasey Ethan or Chasey something like that anyways on defense.
Right, and so just like you said, I run her as Chasey Felix.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back real quick and I'll show you. So what I do is You can see right now that Chasey's currently at 2213
Yep.
for Mike. Granted, yes, it's all purple at the point in time.
Okay, what do you have for the other stuff? Just scroll up in your other equipment for a second. No. Just click on one. Just click on an equipment out there and then just scroll up on the side so I can see what you have for inventory. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you run Daryl and Felix together? Or do you run them on separate lines?
No, I run them on separate lines.
Okay, so then do you run Chasey by herself? Or is she leading or is she co-leading with Felix?
So I'll explain it differently here.
Yeah.
So as far as field goes, as you can see, my Felix, I've got everything on him.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I run Felix with Lana.
Okay.
As my field. And then what I do is I take my armaments from Felix and I'll swap them over to Chasey and then run Felix as an assistant.
As a co-lead. Okay. So here's two things. Here's what I want us to do. If you're down for it. We're going to do kind of a full work on your account, okay?
Okay.
Can you take off all of the armaments that you have on all of your heroes?
Yes.
Let's unequip everything. Yeah, let's unequip everything.
I wish there was a faster way to do this.
Yeah, if there was one you could unequip everybody, man, that'd be great.
Yeah.
It would save us from having to go all the ones that we end up having some green ones too for some reason, like.
Well, I can definitely tell you right now that I dismantle all green and blue.
Okay, good. But I see you have some undue weight. So one of the biggest things that I think a lot of people have to understand, okay? This is myself included. This is a hard lesson for me to learn as well. But here's probably the biggest advice I can give you. Your goal should be to have the lowest might possible for your account. You don't want to raise your might. You want to do everything you can to keep your might as low as possible. Okay?
Okay.
And this mentality means that we want to make sure that we're not having undue might in things like equipped armaments that we aren't using, in things like unequipped armaments that are sitting in our bag that we're not using. All of these things equate into your rating. Do you know what your rating is?
Nope.
Okay. So when this game matches you in matchmaking, whether it's for IR, AR, GW, Pompeii, doesn't really matter. A lot of these things, there's multiple avenues on how they match you. They first match your alliance might, which will determine what bracket you're in, whether you're in Fearless, Elite, or Apex. Okay? And that's based on your overall alliance might. But once you're in that bracket, they go by your rating to find your actual matchmaking, who you're going to get paired with and play with. And your rating includes a lot more things than just your overall might. It includes your overall might. It includes things like armaments that are in your bag that are not equipped. It includes things like your hero strength, your amount of troops that you have, your win-loss ratio, how active you are. All of these types of things add to your overall rating. And since the rating itself is so kind of clouded in shadows, they're not really clear on what all is equated in rating. We have to be as kind of intelligent as we can with all of our armaments, all of our hones, all of our resources, and where we're putting them. Okay? And even something like having armaments on heroes that we're not using, or having the wrong armaments on heroes that we are using, is going to inflate our rating, inflate our might, make our matchmaking harder, and subsequently make the game a little bit worse for everybody. So this is something that we always want to kind of keep track on. Okay? So just unequipping all of your might, we've knocked you down how much? About 17 million might?
Yeah, we went from 186 down to 169.
So this is going to give us potential to re-equip what we need and then look at what you have freedom to dismantle and turn into other parts that you're going to turn into things that you'll be able to use. Right? Because the hardest part about this game is understanding what's usable, what's not usable, what can be dismantled, what can't be dismantled, things like that. What you should never dismantle and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to armaments, a lot of this is inflated might and inflated rating, because we're going to be working on sets that we're not using. We're going to be equipping sets onto heroes that we don't use. We're going to equip, and this is just natural things. We're going to equip the wrong armaments on gathering heroes. We're going to equip the wrong devices on fighting heroes, all this kind of stuff. So we want to address this at the root. So let's talk about fighting in the field. You said you fight with Felix and Elena, correct?
Correct.
Do you fight with more troops in the field? What do you like if you had a perfect world, how many marches would you fight with? What would be your perfect separation?
Well, I can tell you what I usually do.
Mm-hmm. Tell me what you usually do.
Better yet, I will show you. So I always do mass, and I got it saved under number 2. So this right here is my fighting lineup under mass.
And this is what you send out to fight with, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So here's where I'm going to break something down for you and leave it up to you to decide. What you've got here is 3 types of troops, all of which are not fighting at the same caliber, right?
That's correct.
You look at your Felix, for example. Your Felix is 4.5 million. What's your Daryl's armor set? Do you remember what he was?
I think he was like 3.
Okay. What's your Adut? Do you remember? Close approximation?
I think it was about 2.8.
Okay. And your Julia?
2.5, I think.
And your Bodala?
That one is in the lower 2s as well.
Okay. At our might, we don't want to take marches in the field unless they are at least 3 to 3.5 million might. You don't want to send them in the field. Period. And I'll tell you why. All you're doing is sending troops to get slaughtered. You're sending troops that are going to fill up your hospital. You're setting up troops that you're going to have to spend to replace. And you're not taking good trades because even at 2 million, 2.5 million, 2.8 even, the average person that you're coming in contact with is going to have better armaments than that. At least in 1 or 2 squads. So my mentality is very simple. What's more efficient? Punching with your 2 squads, one at 4.5 million, one at 3.5 million, or punching with all 5, knowing that 3 are doing nothing but costing you resources, speed ups, and troops to heal, to replace, and taking away from your 2 main rider lines, because once you add that, the rest of those troops in there, now you can't fit rallies and garrisons for infantry and ranged. Now you're surviving on just your rider troops. You see what I'm saying? You see how it starts to compound?
Right.
And this is why I'll always tell people fighting 5 troops in the field, like 5 different marches, especially over all 3 types, is the most expensive way to play this game. The absolute most expensive way. That's how the game wants you to play. Because if you do that, you're going to be paying more to IGG, and that's what IGG wants. Now, if you want to do that, you're all welcome to do that. What I would suggest doing if I were you, focus on 1 squad at a time until you get that 1 set up to 3 to 3.5 million. Once you get that set up to 3 to 3.5 million, then you can start working on the next set. Okay. Right? And I would only fight with those 2 marches in the field. Fight with 2 marches that you're going to punch harder with, and fight with the rest of your team. If you have 4 players that each have 2 marches, right? They're 2 best marches. Those 8 marches will do better than 2 players putting out 5 marches apiece, knowing that 3 of their marches are literal doo-doo buckets. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So this is where hyperfocus and kind of being detailed in where we want to be effective is. Because anybody can throw 5 marches in the field to be able to distract, or, you know, to be able to swarm out 1 or 2 enemies, or to swarm down rallies and things like that if they have to. But you have to look at the long-term playability of it. The more that you do that, the more you're going to be spending on resources, on speed-ups, on resources, on healing, on training, all that kind of stuff. Which means there's more money you're spending into it. If you want to spend more money into it, go hard. But for me, being restrictive as much as I am, spending, you know, a couple $100 a month, you know, we want to be as restrictive as we can. It wouldn't also be a problem to work on a 3rd set anyways, because your Daryl is already over 3.5 million. So working on a second or a 3rd set in a second troop type wouldn't be a problem. So if you wanted to work on your ranged as well, you could. But if I were you, I would let your infantry grow organically as you're focusing on your other 2. There are so many infantry mains inside this game. There's really no reason for you to also have to take that burden on your back as well. Do you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So what we'll do here, what I would suggest we do is we look at putting the armaments the way that I would suggest, and then you can take a look at what you have left over that's not equipped, that's not placed on places, and you can kind of determine what you want to do from there, whether you want to equip some of those extra lines and have them, you know, out there filling up your hospital, or whether you want to look at refreshing those armaments and turning them into other frags that you can use for the other sets that you're working on directly. Make sense?
Okay. Yes, sir.
And just a thing here, click on your Chasey for me and show me her talent tree. Click on the hero talents. Okay. So because you have her statted this way, you have her statted as a field fighter anyways, you don't have to switch her and Felix around between who's leading and who's not. In fact, you would probably want Chasey leading anyways. And I'll tell you why. If you look down on the bottom right, you'll see the one skill that kind of looks like a rocket launcher on the blue side of things. Kind of looks like that rocket launcher, the RPG. Yeah. This is called Skillful Firepower. Increases skill damage by 7.5% for 6 seconds after using a skill. So if you lead with her, she's going to trigger her skill, which is going to add 7.5% damage to the next skill being used, which is Felix's skill, if you run him co-leading. Right? So in reality, you can just use Chasey, and you don't need to switch, you don't need to switch their armaments over when switching out who's leading who. Do you see what I'm saying? Because ideally what we would want to do is set your 2 lines up so that you're looking at Felix and Elena, and then Chasey and Daryl probably would be another good bet. Or even Chasey, Elena, Felix, Daryl. That's going to do well for you either way, but those would be in my opinion, those would be your 4. Because Felix, Chasey are obviously newer heroes, do really well. Don't get me wrong, Elena and Bella are great, and you do have them awakened, so they're good options. But go take a look at, you've also got Rubina, so that's a good one. Go take a look at Daryl for me for a second. The benefit of having Daryl, especially in the field, is his debuff to AoE damage and his AoE damage himself. Right? So having him in that field with your other pairing, whether it's Chasey, Felix, and then, or, you know, Chasey, Daryl, Felix, Elena, or however you want to pair those up, the benefits that you'll have there is that you're going to basically make them tankier in the field, but because everything is so heavy in AoE. So having Daryl awakened and having Daryl out there as quick as you can is also going to be a good thing for you. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But those would be the top 4 that I would say out of the riders that you've got. You've got Chasey, you've got Felix, you've got Daryl, and you've got, Elena is awakened. Rubina's not awakened yet. Obviously Rubina's a beast. She's really good regardless once you get her awakened as well. That'll be just another thing to work on at that situation. So that'll be something to determine whether you want to go rally focused or garrison focused. If you're going to be going garrison focused, you're going to be looking at upgrading Chasey more. If you're looking at rally focused, you'll be upgrading Rubina more. And that'll just be a personal preference.
Okay.
Okay. So let's start by putting some armaments on these heroes. So let's go to your Chasey and let's go to your Felix, the two that will upgrade, that will put armaments on your two top lines. So let's go to armaments, and you can equip her with your best if you want. And then go to your Felix and do the same. So this is going to give you your basic 2 marches at what, 4.5 and 3.8.
3.2.
3.2, sorry. So then you're going to be working on his armament sets, right? You'll be honing him up to at least 3.5 before you start working on another set. At least that's my opinion. You want to get to that 3.5, at least 3.5 is kind of that bread and butter point. Okay?
Okay.
What I would suggest doing, though, is still keeping some armaments. Like if you want to do into your rider set, if you want to do your range set as well, let's look at who's your top ranged leader. Your top ranged hero.
I would say Julia, personally.
Okay, Julia or Sophie. I think Sophie right now would be probably the top ranked hero in the top ranked ranged field fighter in the game. I don't know.
Let me see if I can find her. I got Julia up there right now. Let me see if I can find something.
I also want to tell you something. I've noticed this a couple of situations. You've got Sophie right there at level 4-star. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Go back to Julia for a second. Why is her first skill not leveled all the way first?
Good question. I haven't been focusing on the ranged at all.
Okay. Goes almost uniform with almost every hero. There's like a handful of heroes, like 3 or 4 that don't follow this premise. But like 98% of the heroes that are in this game, you are going to level the first skill to 5 first, regardless. Because that's your damage skill. That's your main impact. It's going to be far better to have this 5-1-1-1 than 3-3-3-4. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And that goes uniform with all heroes. You look at Daryl, for example. Click on Daryl. I noticed, I think it was Daryl. He's just above Julia there. Okay, so he does have 5. I'm not sure. It might have been Rubina. Maybe click on Rubina. Yeah, so here's another example, right? 3-3-3-5. 3-2-3-5. The hero's biggest punch is going to be that rage skill. And you want that rage skill leveled up first over every other ability. Because that's their main damaging ability. If you don't have that at 5, they're almost non-effective. Because it just means that you're doing... Like if you scroll down and look at the difference between level 3 and level 5, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So just scroll down a little bit on the skill descriptor. And you see it's almost double the damage from 3 to 5.
Oh, yeah. I see from 4,800 to 9,500.
Plus the bonus damage factor and everything else.
Gotcha.
So, and that's common for all of them, right? All of their stuff is going to level up that way. So if you look at throughout them, if you want to go through and you want to understand a little bit about why you're not hitting as hard as you probably could be, that is going to be one of those reasons. If you end up using those types of heroes that go with it, that's impactful in that sense. So you do got to be careful. I mean, you have a lot of awakened ones that we're dealing with, so I'm not too worried. But let's go back to Julia and let's equip Julia, because I want to make sure that we're going to keep a couple of sets, especially if you choose to go the range route. I honestly think that you're probably best to go into the rider range route.
Okay,
rider
let me
main.
ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Let me ask you. So there's Julia, right?
Yeah.
But I just noticed I don't know much about Nora, but she's awakened.
There's nothing to know about Nora. She's a free hero that's totally poo-poo.
Simple.
Anytime I see Nora on the field, I'm eating her up for supper.
And then I got Nakano.
Yeah. Again, just outdated. The problem is the problem, and here's where you're going to run into issues. The problem with, and this is the problem with running multiple different troop types, is that the hero list moves very quickly. As they're releasing new heroes, the new heroes take over. So you have Julia, right? Do you have Bard?
I do.
Yeah, you've got Bard. You're working on Bard. Here's another prime example, not a level 5 first skill. That would really help your ranged, especially knowing Bard's, all of his ability comes from his first skill. Like 95% of the reason why Bard is good is because of the fact that he's got massive AoE damage and he recharges rage when he kills people with his AoE. Okay. So, but here's my point. You look at someone like Julia Bard, they're already off-seeded by Ethan and Sophie. So Sophie and Ethan are already your better choices. Right? So if you don't have Julia and Bard already done, you're already behind the ball. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because we have new ranged heroes that just dropped. We've got Spectra now. We've got Cedric now. These are two new heroes that are going to be changing the game pretty drastically themselves. But I don't think it's going to be as impactful as Sophie Ethan. Sophie Ethan is still, like, arguably Ethan is probably the strongest hero in the game right now. And you pair him with Sophie and Sophie's damage and his benefits to damage, and it creates a very, very broken pairing, to say the least. Ethan is, you probably don't have Ethan, I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking for. I don't.
Yeah, he's down in the bottom, 3 from the bottom on the right-hand side. But here, this again draws my point. If you're missing some of the key players for those troop sets, your best bet might actually be to dump everything you have into riders and make your riders super strong, because you've got your decent rider sets. You can run 3 riders squads in the field. Like, I'm an infantry main. I could run 5 infantry squads in the field and keep 400,000 range troops and 400,000 rider troops just to join rallies and garrisons for other players. You see what I'm saying? Because it would take you a lot to flex into ranged or flex into infantry, because you don't have the ranged or the infantry heroes set up. Like, do you have Bodala? Do you have Boyd? Do you have Eileen? I saw Boyd was still at the bottom. I know you didn't have Boyd. You've got Bodala. Adut is even old. Adut's old, so I wouldn't even look at Adut. And unless they're awakened, here's another prime example, right? We're not awakened, so we're well away from being efficient to hit with infantry as well. Right? So in my opinion, you are set up perfectly to dump everything into being a rider main and just focus everything into putting up your rider defenses and your rider attacks and your rider squads. Right? Change that focus from where you're then having to spend a lot of resources to get your infantry caught up or get your range caught up to just improving your riders and making them that much more impactful. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yeah. So that kind of helps to explain my blindness to why I haven't been able to keep or gain any more troops. So don't get me wrong, I fight.
Yeah.
You know, during battles and events and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I always lose so much. It's ridiculous.
Well, again, half of that will come down to fighting with 5 squads in the field, knowing that 3 of those squads are doing nothing but filling hospitals and costing resources. That's going to be a portion of it. Going to be a portion of trying to flex into situations that you're not prepared for. And again, don't take this personally, right? This isn't a personal thing. But just looking at your account,
no, not at all.
It's just looking at the account, you are set up to be a rider main. You are set up to influence all of your stuff into riders, because you could still run 3 sets. Like I said, you could run Bella Elena, Chasey Felix, Daryl Rubina. 3 really solid marches that would do well in the field, still be able to flex into garrison and still be able to flex into rally. Right? Your Rubina Chasey or your Rubina Daryl would be good for rally. Chasey Felix would be good for garrison. Bella Elena would be good for field. And playing them together, fighting them 3 and together would still be fine in the field as well. You see what I'm saying? And those 3 marches would be far more impactful than fighting with 2 infantry and 1 ranged on the side when we know that you don't have the armament sets, you don't have the hero setups to run those successfully. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So if that would be the case, you'd be looking at doing a 3rd set on one of your rider heroes. But it doesn't mean that we're forgetting about infantry and range, because you still have some flex. You still want to have it eventually, right? You're still going to have this, you're still going to, there'll still be a time in the future where you'll be fighting 5 in the field. But it won't necessarily be with the skill sets or with the sets that you have. So what I would do is, you've got your Chasey equipped, you've got your Felix equipped. I would look at equipping your 3rd line, Elena, right? Elena or Bella. I mean, one of them is going to be leading regardless. And equip them with your 3rd set, your best 3rd set of armaments. And take off your farming armament, your farming device. You fight with those or farm with those?
I guess they've been set up, because I just do just like you've seen, I do the quick equipped.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've been running it.
Okay. So we're going to help you a little bit here. I want you to go to Felix and undisconnect his farming one, because you have a farming one there as well. Unequip that bad boy. Now you can equip your war drone here if you want. That'll give you some squad travel speed. Having your war drone there wouldn't be a bad thing. And then just scroll down on your devices on the left-hand side for me for a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you've got a lot. You got a lot. Okay.
Oh, hold on. Let's start over. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6,
5,
7. 6, 7,
There's
and
7
then
of them.
masks. Okay. So here's my best advice. Okay. Let's focus on these 3 main lines. Your Chasey, your Felix, and your Elena. And we're going to set up your farmers as well, so that we have your farmers set up on the best farming setups that they can be, your farming lines. Because I assume you also just go search wood, send whatever it tells you to send. Search food, send whatever it tells you to send. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. If you're willing, I'll give you the tips for farming as well, so that you can actually you prep a farming line, you prep a food line, you prep a wood line, a steel line, and an oil line. That way, when you send out all 4 marches, they all come back in the same, within 5-6 minutes of each other, versus one coming back in an hour and 40 minutes, and then the last one coming back in 3 hours. Right? We want that time as close as possible, because, again, it's about being efficient. What's going to be easier for you, is it going to be easier to log in once every 2 hours and resend all your farmers? Or is it going to be easier to log in 5 times over the next 3 hours and have to individually send refarmers at that time? Do you see what I'm saying? So even with auto-gather, I use the same thing even with auto-gathering. Because even with auto-gathering, you want to make sure that those troop times are as efficient as possible. You might have one march that'll finish a node in an hour and a half, but if 3 other marches are coming in at 2.5 hours, that's not nearly as efficient as what we can be by actually setting the lines up properly. Okay? So we'll set those up too. Don't worry. We'll cut through this. So we've got our 3 main setups, right? We've got Chasey, Felix, and Elena. Let's go to Julia, because we still want to work on a range set, and we still want to work on an infantry set, because you will be eventually working on them. But again, a lot of this is about cutting down our unused rating. So instead of clicking quick equip, don't click quick equip. Let's go through them individually, and let's equip all the superbs that you have, if you have superbs.
Okay, so
that's no superb. Don't worry about a hat. Go to your gun. You've got the superb gun. I'd equip the superb gun. Because remember, we're not equipping the best because we're not looking to fight with this. We are planning for the future. And when you are eventually able to fight with ranged and infantry in the field, your superbs will be strong enough to be able to use in that sense. So there's really no sense in us inflating our might and rating by putting non-superbs and equipping those. You see what I'm saying? So by the time you'll be using her in the field, you'll have at least 1 or 2 copies of your superbs. Don't have to worry about anything there. Oh, there you go. Put on the jacket. That's a good vest. You got the tactical vest. I don't even have that. That's crazy. You can also equip on her one of the masks because you have a bunch of extra masks that are not equipped already. Oh, yeah. So equip the second one. That one. Equip that one. Yeah, just equip that one for now. And then go back to Elena and make sure that you equip the right mask on Elena because I think she's missing one for her device. Yeah, she's missing a device. And put on a mask for her as well. Level 3 there. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah, that's fine. Now, this is going to give us... so back out here, and you can meld your masks and stuff together after. But what this is going to effectively do now is give us our top 3 lines, plus 1 range that we're working on, and then we're going to do the same for an infantry. So go find your favorite infantry hero. And let's equip her. And I want to equip all the superbs that we have for armaments on whoever your favorite infantry hero is.
Well, let me ask you, since you're infantry main,
yeah,
you're going to be a little more knowledgeable with the heroes than what I am. So based on what you can see that I've got, what would you recommend as a top priority for
Bodala
infantry? Bodala?
Yeah, Bodala. I think Bodala is currently probably one of the most... probably one of the most influential heroes that are easily achievable in the game. He's got a lot of defense, a lot of damage, a lot of movement speed, a lot of flex for what infantry needs. Pairs well with things like Eileen, pairs well with things like Stella, pairs well with Eddie. Lots of good flex with Bodala. So I would suggest focusing on Bodala if you're going to look at any infantry to go.
Okay.
And then, again, equip him with all the superbs that you have. Nice. You're working on boots and stuff too. Nothing. Backpack. It's gonna be the backpack and the pants, I think, that are the hardest to get. At least they are for me, anyways. That's the hardest place to get things. Now you can equip him with devices if you want, but I wouldn't necessarily think that you would need to. Just because obviously the devices that you're gonna get for him when you're going to be playing with him are probably going to be a strong mask and a plasma blade. So you'll put those on when you need to. Whether you want to put a mask on him now or is fine. But let's not worry about the high performance motor, because here's my biggest gripe. Yes, you can put a high performance motor on, and yes, it will provide some benefits, right? Yes, it's going to provide, like according to the one that you're clicked on now, it'll provide 20 lethality, 40 lethality, 2% defense, and 1.7% attack. But the truth is, what you're giving up, the 18% gathering speed and the 10% extra resources when gathering, is really beneficial because this game is super focused on farming efficiently too. So I would never fight with these high performance motors. I would only ever put them on our farming team, because remember, every other equipment that we're putting on is inflating our might, inflating our weight. And when you look at what you're getting out of it, you're much better just to put on another mask. And masks are easy to get, right? You've got 17 of them, for Christ's sake. You see what I'm saying?
I just got the one available at the moment. But.
Yeah, but here's my point. You're not going to be using him right away. right? This is only to save. Right. This is only to keep track of what we're saving so that we're working on this set anyways. If we're going to have it count towards our rating, we might as well have it count towards our might. And having them equipped will prevent us from accidentally dismissing them or dismantling them if that's the route that you choose to do. Okay?
Okay.
Because once we have everything equipped, we're going to take a look at what you have for armaments and see how much fluid, like how much extra stuff you have, how much quote-unquote fluff you have on in your account, okay?
Okay.
So now that we have your main 3 plus 1 rider plus 1 range plus 1 infantry, so you're working on your superbs for your infantry and you're working on your superbs for ranged as you build up those heroes and build up those squad types. Let's go back out here and let's set up your farming lines. So do me a favor and find me a level 7 food node. We're going to save these lines so that you have access to them. So find a level 7 food node. I want you to click search, click gather, and we're going to save a specific march. Go create squad. And you're going to save Sarah Vandermeer as your leader, and the co-leader is going to be Chris. She's the blonde-haired girl who's in blue. Yeah. Now, why am I pairing these two together? Because Sarah Vandermeer provides increased gathering when it comes to food and oil. Chris provides a benefit to gathering anything. So we're going to put Sarah on food because we already have someone that does oil better. So Sarah's the best food. Okay. Pair her with Chris. And I want you to save this march. So click the save button. And save this march as your number 1 green march. No, you got to click the little save button. The little disc button at the bottom. There you go. Save it as your number 1 green. So now every time you're going to go do food, whether this is in your auto gather or not, you're going to send out your number 1 green march. Okay?
Okay.
Because this will send, if you back out of this screen for a second, you'll notice that the squad load capacity is just over a tier 7 node. This means that you'll never leave a node empty or never leave a node half empty. Okay? And you'll send that one to your food. Now find me a level 7 wood node. Actually, send her out first. Go click march. We're going to send them out and then recall them. Now find me a level 7 wood node. And you can send these ones out to any size node. We're simply saving it on the level 7 so that you'll always be covered off and cleaning out the node the whole way.
Okay.
And this is the march you're going to save for your wood. So save this one as your number 2 green. Yeah, there you go. And then you can send this one out too. Find me a steel node, level 7. And we're going to send out... Oh, that's not the proper size. You want to make sure you find a full level 7. Otherwise, it'll save the wrong troop types. There's one right west of that. Nope.
It's not full either.
Nope. There you go. Gather that bad boy. You're going to go Alexander Sokolov, and your co-leader is going to be Michelle. She's the old lady. Or no, the girl, not the old lady. Scroll up. She's up at the top. She's the blue hero. The blue one right at the top. Yeah, there you go. I mean Angela, not Michelle. Michelle's the old lady. Yep. Save that as your number 3 green. And then send them out. Find me a level 7 oil. Perfect. And you should just send out that one. Yep. And save that as your number 4. Send that one out. Now this is going to send out, which means that right now you have already sent out enough troops to farm one of each node, right?
Correct.
But we also farm with 5 nodes, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so let's find me a level 7 food or wood. Doesn't matter. We're going to save it on the highest cap that we can.
I must say wood because that's usually the one I need the most.
Perfect. So click on a level 7 wood. Let's go gather. Let's go create squad. And you're going to save that one as your number 5 green. Andrew Morrison and Back Alley are going to be your 5th gathering line. They are collectively the slowest out of your 5, but they'll still do pretty well. It's still pretty good. So if you send him out, without doing any modifying with armaments for gathering and things like that, I want you to click on the right-hand side. You see the up-down button by your troops?
Oh, yep.
Click the up-down button. What we'll see, scroll down a little bit. Don't return them yet. Just scroll down. Look at their timers. One's coming back in 1 hour 55. One's coming back in 1 hour 53. One's coming back in just over 2 hours. And 1 hour 56. So they're all coming back 10 minutes within a 10-minute window. Excuse me. They're all coming back within that 10-minute window. So now you only have to log in once every 2 hours and 1 minute. And you get to resend all of your marches. Instead of one coming back in 1.5 hours, the last one coming back in 3.5 hours. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So now
you just made it more efficient.
Yes, these are the top efficiency lines that you'll have. So they're all gathering around that same time, which means that you don't have to log in near as often to be as efficient as you can. Okay. Now, here's the thing. If you want to farm a food node with your oil line, right? Let's say you want to farm all 5 food nodes, right? You're like, screw it, I want to do all food. I really need food. Recall your oil line for a second, and I'll show you something.
That would be Maxine, right?
Yep, Maxine and Sia. Because remember, we saved their only squads to do enough for an oil node. But if I want to do food, that's not going to be enough to do food, right? So find me a level 7 food node.
Wow.
Sometimes the search function is the best. Oh, you found one. So let's click gather there for a second. Well, I'll wait for her to get back first. I'm going to show you a little bit of a trick. So click gather on that level 7 food or wood. Yeah, click gather. And then click create squad. And I want you to click on number 4. So what we've done is we've brought up that save file, but you'll notice the load drops it to 264, right?
Right.
So click on Sia, not the minus button, just click on Sia. Like just click on and then click on her image again, her picture. It automatically updates the minimum required to do that node.
Wow, I never knew that one.
Do you see that? So that way you can send these marches, still save them where they are, but if you want to send out 5 food, you just send the 5, make sure that you just send that over so that you're always carrying the minimum required to clear out that node. Does that make sense?
So when I go to auto gather.
Yep.
So I need to hit march. No, I don't need to hit march on this one.
Yeah, just back out. You can not have to sit this one. I'll show you how to do the auto gather. So click on a node that you would want to auto gather unless you want to do it through the store.
Let's see right now. Okay, let's say oil.
So click auto gather. Put her in your oil spot. And click number 4.
Okay.
And you're ready to rock. And she will just keep going. And she's got more than enough to carry a node, so she'll keep finishing the node, bring it back, and go to the next node.
So hit start, or should I recall everybody?
Just yeah, let's not put that on yet because we do want to look at the armaments before we send them back out. So let's recall everybody. Now that we have the marches saved, we can put armaments on them because now we know what they are. Now we know what the leaders of those marches are. We can equip those leaders with the right armaments for farming. And this is, again, where we want to be specific because there are very specific farming armaments. And there are armaments that are doing absolutely nothing but inflating your might, inflating your rating, and doing nothing for you because you're never going to actually use them for what they're designed for. Okay? So let's start by looking at those armaments. Go to Sarah Vandermeer for me in your hero section for a second. All right. Click on her armaments. And let's go around the horn and let's just take a look at what armaments you have available. Let's start at the helmet. Okay. So this one here is the right one to be focusing on. But remember, does she do steel?
No.
Okay. So let's not worry about putting one of these on her yet until we have our steel farmer all the way at 100%. Until he's ready to go and farm as fast as he can. So she doesn't need to put on a helmet. Go to the gun for me for a second. The steel ice axe is totally useless. All you need is shovels. One shovel on every leader. So equip her with a shovel. It doesn't matter which one. The hones are irrelevant. You'll hone them out afterwards anyways. Go to the boots. You can give her the proper farming boots. There you go. They provide food gathering speed, which is what she does, right? Go to the other boots that you have for me, the 2-star ones that you have. Let me ask you a question. Do you have problems with zombies?
No, but let me explain why I've got it. So I use it on Peggy, and I use it for experience points to level up my lower level heroes as an assistant. That's what I use it for.
Can I break your brain?
Sure.
The amount of experience that you will need to level up your heroes by doing zombies is not worth the might and rating you have by having these extra armaments. And I'll break this down to you. If you look at a report, just pull up one report for me when you killed a zombie. Do you have any reports like that saved? Or just in your bag? Click on the zombie side. Yeah, just it doesn't matter. Any one that's not the antipede. Go to the oh no, you have to do no, not a hive mind. You have to do an actual zombie, one that you'll get experience for. Can you just go quickly kill a zombie? You got a level 39 right there. So just kill a zombie however you want. Use the ×5, doesn't matter. Use your Peggy. Use whichever one you want to get you the best result on your experience that you can. Okay? Go ahead and march. So we're going to kill this thing. And then we're going to take a look at exactly how much experience you get from doing that. And then you'll see how it's really, really, really dumb. You will level your heroes up not by killing zombies. You will level your heroes up by using hero experience books and stuff like that. So go to your reports. And scroll down to where you see the experience. So ×5 with your bonus got you 32,000 experience. With the ×5, right? So if we take off that ×5, what's 32,760 divided by 5? 32 760 divided by 5. 6,552. Okay?
What?
One level is 3.1 million experience. It means that you have to kill 473 zombies to level up one hero, one level. Do you see what I'm saying? It will take you 475 zombies to naturally level up one hero, just one level up 50. So from 50 to 51 will take you 473 zombies. That's almost 5,000 zombies to get one hero from level 50 to level 60 by doing zombies.
Okay.
You start to see how very quickly doing zombies is not a good way to level up your heroes.
Right. Well, I guess I should have been a little more.
Even the low level ones, even just to go through the first couple of levels, because the first couple of levels are only like 100, like 50,000 experience. 100,000 experience. It doesn't start jumping until you get past level 40. But even then,
Okay.
the jump from what the experience costs to using up those experience books that you get as rewards for everything, even from doing zombies, right? So
Okay.
again, it's not that it's just that you're not getting the same value as if you were to remove those armaments, use the frags for the armaments that you actually need, and get rid of that extra rating, making your matchmaking a little bit easier. That's what this whole thing comes down to. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So let's go back into Sarah Vandermeer. Let's look at her pants, because we've already given her the proper shovel, the proper thing. So for her, you don't even need to give her pants either, because the pants that you get for her for farming are oil gathering, and she doesn't do oil, she does food, right? So we don't got to worry about that. However, I would suggest putting a backpack on her, a strap case, just because it does provide squad load. It is a wood gathering speed, but it also provides squad load. So you can also put one of these on all of your gathering heroes as well, because squad load is something that every gathering hero can use. Make sense?
Okay.
And then for her, you want to put on the jacket that's one down, the bottom left corner. This one. Because again, squad load. So equip that
Just
one
out
there.
of curiosity. I was just looking at them.
Yeah, sure. But here's the thing. So now we have her set up. Give her a gathering device. Don't forget her gathering devices. And you want to give her whichever one has, if you have one that's got lucky enough to have any of the, if it's got a food gathering speed, no hone on it. Or have you honed them all for fighting?
I think they're all fighting. Oh,
Squad travel
zombie.
speed. All right, so just pick one. Doesn't matter. Put on a fully loaded one. Yeah, equip that. So now she's got a plus 18% gathering speed. She's going to have extra squad load, so we'll be able to mess with that a little bit more. You'll be able to take out some of those troops. And then these are the only 5 armaments that you need to work on for her. You don't have to work on anything else until you have the other set up. Okay?
Okay.
Now let's look at your wood leader. Your wood leader is Jeremy. Blue hoodie, yep. Nope. Just below him. Yeah, this guy. So let's go to Jeremy. Let's look at whether we put a gun on him. So a shovel. Now he doesn't, yeah, you can equip the other shovel that's there. It doesn't matter. Yep, that one there. He doesn't need boots. He doesn't need pants. He needs a backpack. Do you have the other backpack for him, or did you? Yeah, you have a strap case for him. And then a gathering device as well. You don't have the right jacket for him, so you don't need to worry about that. and then just put on another device for him that you'll hone later. Perfect. Now, he's a little bit of a different story because he's double dipping on his backpack. So the only thing you need to get him is a jacket. And then he only needs the 4 that you're working on with him. Okay? Next, go to Alexander, the guy right above. We're going to equip him with steel, so he'll get goggles. And here is where you're going to play a little bit of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. In my opinion, the elites are good enough. I don't ever really concern myself with the legendaries very often because, yes, you can get good gathering speed out of them, but of course they take more to build up. They take more hones to build up, yada, yada, yada. So if I were you, I would just equip the level 2. Yeah, those ones. At least until you have your legendaries. If you're going to keep them, at least until you have them level 3. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. I don't think you have another shovel left for him, but you might. I don't remember. Nope, you don't. He needs a device, so give him a device. All right, and I think you have one more strap case as well, so you can give him a backpack. And then all you need to do is get him a shovel. And the vest, shovel and a vest. But remember, just the one strap, the forward jacket. Now,
oh, shit.
That's okay. It doesn't matter who has it. Whether it's on your steel or whether it's on your food. You have to get one for everybody anyway, so it's fine. And then let's go to Maxine for your oil. And I believe she's going to get the pants. Yep. The level 1 oil pants. The minor pants. Yep. Oh, you even have an 8% oil gathering speed buff on that one. That's awesome. That's a max buff. Device. Don't forget a device on her. Yeah, it doesn't matter which one. Just a full one. And then you'll need to get a shovel for her, a backpack, and a vest. Okay. And then lastly, let's go to the old man in green, the green old man character. Now, the green old man character is going to be leading your 5th line. He farms everything, correct?
Question. How do you find that out?
What do you mean?
Here?
No. What I mean is he's your 5th line, so you'll use him to farm everything, right?
Yeah. Right.
So we want to put one of every farming thing on him. So go to your glasses. If you have an extra pair of glasses, put the goggles on him. I would suggest putting the legendaries on here so that you can use the other elites to dump into your other one. So then you can level up your other glasses. He'll need a shovel, not that thing. I think you have a pair of boots you can probably put on. The farming boots. I think you even have an oil pair of pants as well. Yep. You got an extra pair of pants. And I think you don't have the strap case or anything. Yes. But again, so from here, put a device on him as well. Perfect. So now you have all of your farming guys kept up and you know which pieces to put on them, right?
Right.
So what we've effectively done is we've armed every single march that you're going to use effectively, right? We've equipped your 3 rider marches, 1 infantry march, and 1 range march, right? The ranged and the infantry are obviously your superbs that we're going to save and work on over time as the game gives us those frags, as we can work and level them up. But let's focus on those 3 main fighting lines that you have for riders. Okay? And your best guess or your best bet is going to be to push to get that 3rd set as all legendary. So you have them all elite right now. You need them all legendary. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you're going to push to get the helmet, a helmet down, Whether it's your superb or just another helmet, doesn't matter if it's another legendary. That's okay. You'll work on your superbs in time. Same with your gun, same with your boots.
Superb here, isn't it?
Yep, that's a superb. The only difference is right now it's only giving you 150,000 might versus the other helmet giving you more stats. Comparatively.
Okay, so just saying.
I mean, you could arguably, if you look at it, you could arguably put your superb on and do just as well. Like it's not that big of a difference by comparison. But a level 3 elite is better than a full level 5, or a level 3 legendary is better than a level 5 elite. So once you get your legendary to a level 3, you can swap that over. Or a level 1, even a level 0, level 1 is equivalent to a full out elite. Okay? But if you go to your boots, I mean, you could even put your level 2 boots on instead, and they would probably be just as effective. It's very close.
3-3.
So yeah, on those boots, you could probably still put those boots on and still do pretty well. Once you get one more copy on it, and once you get some of those red hones, because red hones will change a lot of things. You even have the superb there that's close. And then on the jacket as well. That one I would suggest getting to at least a 3 copy before you swap over.
This one's 3?
Yeah, get that to at least a 2 or 3 stars before you swap over.
Okay.
But basically, if you go back to your armament bag for a second, just go into your armament section, scroll down for me. Effectively, every armament that you have not equipped currently can be dismantled. Except for one. Sorry, I forgot one thing you have to do. Go to your leader hero. Go to Claude. Find Claude for me. Claude or Bianca or Victor.
Don't see Claude.
Okay, pick Victor. Victor's fine.
Nope, that's Robert.
He's down 3 or 2 on the right-hand side. 2 on the right-hand side. Yeah. Go to his armaments.
You talking about leader hero?
Yeah. We're going to save your superbs for your leader heroes as well. So go to your armaments.
Where is she at? She's up here. Where's Bianca?
Are you looking for Bianca?
Wasn't it Bianca?
Yeah, Bianca. I'm not sure where she is, though.
Where is she?
Right there. Okay. And go to her armaments. And we're going to equip the superbs as well. Any superbs that you have for your leader heroes, go ahead and keep those. Okay, you just had the 2. That's fine. Leader stuff is harder to get anyways. Don't worry about it. Okay, so back out. And let's go to your armament bag. And let's take a look at something.
Nope.
Scroll down. Every armament that is currently not equipped is hurting you. Every equipment that is not equipped is currently hurting you.
That's a lot.
Yes, it is. Every equipment that you have... No, the fragments don't count. These ones don't count. Just the ones that you have that are full. But every equipment that is not equipped, every armament that is not equipped currently is adding to your battle rating, which makes your matchmaking harder. And every single equipment that you have that is not equipped is parts that you could be using towards fragments every single week for the parts and fragments for pieces that you do need. So, what I would suggest, however, understand it's a big deal, dismantle everything that's not equipped. Now, there's an all button that you can click at the top and then just go through to make sure that there aren't any that you don't want to dismantle just in case. But like all the purples, for example, the elites are doing nothing for you. We've already equipped all the other ones that are useful. All of these other extra ones. Pardon? The masks will stay automatic. Yeah, keep the masks. The device will stay automatically. They're special that way. But even these locked ones, you can unlock them and add them too. Because every single piece that you have that is not here is going to be extra parts. If you're looking, we're getting hones out of it. We're getting rare hones out of it. We're getting the dismantling nuts that we can use for fragment pieces for the actual frags that we'll use. And this is all going to eliminate a lot of your battle rating as well, which is making your matchmaking naturally harder.
There is a lot.
Yeah. This is what happens to a lot of people because getting rid of armaments is much harder. It's a hard thing to do, especially when you're talking about like the value that you're getting for them. Right?
So all the legendary do the same thing?
Any legendary that is not equipped, we're not using, especially like these are leader ones, right? We're never using leader armaments ever. So I wouldn't focus on those ones. I would keep the rider ones, though. If you have any rider focus, like those boots, for example, you can keep those. Because you're a rider main, right? Keep those.
Okay.
But the leader ones, you can get rid of. Because the only things that we're looking at is the actual future when we're going to be fighting in the field with your infantry and your ranged is going to be when those superb sets are at least 3 stars. And when they're at 3 stars, they're better than an elite anyways. 3 and 4 star superbs are better than elites. Okay? So any of the ones that aren't equipped, that aren't rider focused, yeah, you can absolutely get rid of. And look at how much unused potential you've had in your bag this whole time that you could have been putting towards armaments that you will use, whether they're riders or what have you. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
No, save that one. That's still a rider one. That's a rider one.
Getting trigger happy here.
Don't worry, I got your back.
Too many.
I got your back. There's a lot.
There's too many of them.
I did this the first thing I did on my account too when I first got it, and it's a tough thing to do, but the truth is it will make you swing harder faster because you'll be able to get the armaments that you need to get them to 5 star when you'll actually be able to start doing some real damage with them. And I think this will also help you stay focused a little bit because if you have the option to step out a lot into doing infantry and ranged as well, a lot of people will do so. And it creates a situation where you're basically going to be, you're fighting against the game. The game wants you to spend on everything, to be good on everything. And unless you're prepared to drop, some people's life savings, like we want to be as efficient as we can.
Right.
But you look at this, getting 30,000, 33,000 of these parts, this is, and 900 or 90 hones, that's great. You're going to put you over for the honing event, that'll be perfect. So I would look at something like this and say this to me is now going to provide me with pretty much 10 weeks, 20 fragments a week for the armaments that you want. You see what I'm saying?
So hit bulk dismantle to dismantle all the ones not used.
I would. Yeah, that's what I would do. I would bulk dismantle and take all of those fragments and start using them every single week to getting the attributes that you want.
They are now gone.
So now go to your exchange shop. Go to the armament shop. Scroll down to the bottom. And the first thing you're going to buy every single week is the 5 honing chips.
Oh.
The next thing you're going to buy every single week is, scroll up to the very top, the choice fragments for whichever armament is up. And you're going to buy all of them.
So the very first.
Yep,
first
the helmet frag choice box. And you're going to do that for the next 15 weeks. And you're going to go to the specific rider attribute, whether that's going to be like this week is a helmet, maybe next week is the gun, whatever it is. You're also going to buy the specific frags for both rider sets. Now, I will suggest the only one that you don't do is the helmet. The only one that you buy for the helmet, I believe, is the racing helmet. Click on the racing helmet for a second for me. No, not the racing helmet. Sorry, the other helmet. You want to buy the biker helmet frag. And I'll tell you why you don't want to buy the other helmet. Okay?
Okay.
Do you know how damage works in this game?
Well, I can give you a general consensus of what damage is, but not for the game.
Okay. So, okay. So in the game, there's 3 types. Then that's okay. It's a perfect response because that's what most people have. In the game, there's 3 types of damage. You've got basic attack damage, you've got counter damage, and you've got skill damage. Okay?
Okay.
When you engage in battle with someone, so if we both have troops that are fighting each other, we're going to be dealing all 3 types of damage. Basic attack damage, counter damage, and skill damage. If you run away, but I'm still attacking, I'm going to hit you with basic attack damage and skill damage. You're going to hit me with counter damage and only counter damage. Okay? Which means that...
Now all this is starting to click because I remember watching this earlier today. Yes, and that's clicking now. Yeah.
So what that means is that when you're dealing these damages, we want to take a look at where we're dealing this type of damage, where we're going to be receiving this type of damage, and how we can influence that. If you look at the other helmet, the racing helmet, for a second, the racing helmet is going to reduce counter damage taken. So it's going to reduce the amount of counter damage that you take. But counter damage is only received when you're attacking someone directly. If I'm being swarmed, for example, I'm only taking counter damage from the target that I'm dealing basic attack damage to. Do you see what I'm saying? So if I'm being swarmed, I'm only taking counter damage from one source.
Right.
If I influence my defense, which is the other helmet, click on the other helmet, the biker helmet, this influences your defense overall, which will in turn reduce the amount of basic attack damage you take and reduce the amount of counter damage you take and reduce the amount of skill damage you take, just at a smaller degree. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's more influential when I'm looking at just the helmets, because it's just the helmets that have this counter damage one. I'm a big believer that the biker helmet or the one that adds defense is better than the one that reduces counter damage, just because there's so few sources of where you're actually getting counter damage from, whereas defense will influence however you're taking damage.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
And again, if you're not understanding, let me know.
Well, with that being said, now you got me thinking. Okay, biker. All right, cool. Now,
yeah.
I got the counter damage on him.
Yep, that's fine. And if that's the one that you're getting, that's fine. If the game gives you a full 5-star, that's okay. It's still okay. It'll still benefit, right? Because counter damage is still a heavy source of damage in the game. It's just one of those things where I'm looking at it going, a 5% boost to defense will have more of an influence than 7.5% off just counter damage. But there's also something called diminishing returns. If you have a ton of defense already in the rest of your stuff, adding an extra 7.5% defense might not be as influential as cutting off 7.5% counter damage. But that's metagaming analysis when you're talking about the absolute top of the echelons, when 2% of your stats actually matter. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay. Again, if things don't make sense.
I didn't know that before.
Yeah, if things don't make sense, let me know. Because the truth is, there's a lot that doesn't make sense in this game, and it takes a lot of kind of weed whacking to get through. But if you go back now, what we've effectively done is we've streamlined your account so far. We've got your 3 basic lines, all of your farming lines, your riders and ranged are being worked on, but that still gives you 3 marches to fight in the field with if you need to. Right? We've eliminated about 5 million of your might in that extra armaments and things like that we didn't actually need, that we weren't using. And now you can go back every week and get those fragments so you can start to increase those armament sets that you have. Now, let me ask you a couple questions. When do you use your rare hones?
I've never used one, and I don't even know if I've got one.
Yes, you have rare hones. We just got you another. You've got over 300 rare hones.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're talking about the purple.
Yeah, the purple rare hones. The rare hones chips.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. For some odd reason, I was thinking red.
No problem. When do you use those rare hones?
I haven't used them for quite a while.
Okay. So here's what I want you to do. They're in the other section, in the consumables section. Oh, they're not in the consumables section. Go to the all. You'll see them at the top. Scroll up on the all tab. Yeah, right there at the top. You got 312 of them right now. So here's what I want you to do. Save those and use them use 300 of them specifically during the honing event. There is a honing event that happens. It typically coincides with TC, with Top Commander, when they do the honing challenge for the Top Commander. I'm not sure if it's every time or every other time. Sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes it's 4 weeks. It won't be in the calendar. It'll just show up on honing day for TC.
Oh, okay.
And you only want to use those rare hones during that time, because when you hone 150 hones and when you use 300 hones, you get what's called guaranteed red honing canisters. Now, these guaranteed red hone canisters do exactly that. They will give you a guaranteed red hone on your equipment. And if you know anything about honing and how important red hones are, you've seen red hones before on equipment, correct?
Yep, I'm looking for them.
So those ones are only available on legendaries and superbs. And they are basically what sets your game apart. You got a couple here. Garrison attack, garrison counter damage. To get those by using regular rare hones is pretty rare, right? It takes a lot to get them. So getting those guaranteed red hone canisters are super, super important. And I believe you get one at 150, you get one at 300, and you get one at 550 hones, and then again at 1,000. So as long as you save up enough hones to trigger those ones, I always suggest 300 hones. So you want to save up 300, then you want to use those hones to get your guaranteed reds, and then put your guaranteed reds on your superbs or your devices. Because you've already got a superb 4-star gun there. If you had all those five red hones that you have on that gun on your superb gun instead, you'd be punching so much harder already. So putting those guaranteed red hones on you superbs will help you guarantee that you're getting those red hones and securing those in. Make sense?
So in other words, all of these should actually be on this one.
Yes, ideally. Because here's the thing, your superb set, if you have all 6 superbs, all 5-star, you can get your max set, I believe it's to like 7.2 or 7.3 million armament set. Okay. If you have only just legendaries, I believe it's like 5.5 to 6 million is the total top that you can get. Like if you go to your gun for a second, because your gun is already maxed out, 612,000. So what 6 times 6, 36, plus the ones plus your 400,000 for the hero puts you at 4 million, plus another 1.8. Yeah, so it's like 5.8 million for a fully done elite set or legendary set. But it's 7.2 with superbs. So superbs are way, way, way more influential. That's why I always suggest putting those guaranteed red hones on you superbs, using your rares for your legendaries, and then using your regular hones for your elites.
Okay.
Make sense?
It does. So instead of, I've realized my flaw. So I've been doing legendary mainly instead of the superb. So, and I don't have them accessible this go around.
Yeah, so this is why pants are so hard to get, because you actually have to be in the top. I'm struggling to get pants either. But what do you buy every week from the store?
I don't think I bought anything so far. Usually I'll get the 60-minute training speed up. The homes, if I'm able to. And the battle manuals. And then if I have anything left over, I'll get the intermediate resource pack and then the random resource.
Okay. So from now on, what you're wanting to do, get your honing chips, right? The 20 honing chips every single week. You want to make sure. Honing chips are so valuable in this game and so hard to come by. You want to get those every single week, guaranteed. Okay? That's why they're so important even from that other place. You want to get them every single week. So get every your honing chips every single week. You want to get the pieces that you're looking for in your legendary fragments. So if you're looking for shoes or pants, you want to get those fragments as well. And then your superbs are guaranteed if you can get access to those. That becomes your next thing. So honing chips, superbs. The other ones, if you're looking for extra copies, right, before you have your 5 set, or your healing speed ups. So you shouldn't be using them too much on resource packs because the transfer rate is pretty crap. The battle manual rate is pretty crap for what you're getting. The exchange rate is pretty bad. So again, it's honing chips, superbs, legendary fragments if you can get them, if you're still working on those ones, and then healing speed ups for the rest. And that should get you every single week, should be more than enough to take out all your points that you'll get.
I don't see the healing speed ups.
Or training speed ups. Sorry, training speed ups. My bad. I meant training speed ups.
Okay.
I meant training speed ups.
No, it's okay. But I went ahead and got all the honing chips for this week.
That's good. Honing chips are undervalued, and this is going to be the same thing. Do you do your semis every day? Your semi trucks?
One.
Do you raid your vehicles every day? Like, do you escort your vehicles every day, or do you just?
No, I do escort.
Do you do your personal escort as well? Yeah. And then do you raid your other ones?
I have not, no.
Go to the other shipments. No. Click the other shipments button. So go. Yeah, other shipments. There you go. Now, if you click on these ones, have you done any of these raiding before?
No.
Okay. So every day you're going to get the chance to raid 5 trucks. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to look through the legendaries and the elites, so the purple and the legendary trucks, and you want to look for rare hones. And then what you want to do is you want to raid that truck, right? So there's no rare hones there. Check the other one. No rare hones there. Check the purple ones. No rare hones there. Check the other purple one. Ah, there's a rare hone. Raid that truck. Anytime you get a chance to get a rare hone, raid that truck. Do your top.
This is going to be fun because everything's changed.
Have you done any? We can make it just your 3 main rider sets. So we'll save your actual rider sets too, because we still have to look through your beasts as well. So I would suggest personally Chasey Daryl or Chasey Felix.
Well, my memory serves me correct, so Felix, Elena, and Chasey are armor-mended, so they're going to be my leads.
That's right. So we'll go with Chasey and, Chasey Daryl will be good. Yeah, that's full set. I would go with Felix and, actually Felix and Sven. Sven's still pretty good for what he is, and he's still awakened. And that'll be better than your Rubina. And then Elena Bella. And then I would put Elena Bella in the back line and move your Chasey Felix more center. Yeah, that's how I would set it up. Yep, that's how I would set it up.
Start change.
And then save that as your number 1.
Oh,
and you got the rare hone too. That's perfect. That's okay. You know what to set it up. It's not a big deal. You can go back to it. But now click the little truck button again on the left. That's used 1. Click on the other shipments. That's used 1 of your raid pickups. Now you're going to do that 3 more times or even 4 more times. Your 1 special raid. Okay, so now we've already gone through. We've already got the 1 rare. So now click the switch out button, the rotate, refresh button in the bottom right. And you're going to go through until you find your next rare hone. Rare hones are so damn valuable. You want to do this every single day. And that 1 special raid that is normally used on the Alliance truck, you can actually use to raid another truck. So you can technically raid 5 times.
Now, can you refresh this
as many times as you want? As many as you want. So search, refresh, search, refresh, search, refresh. When you find a rare hone, attempt to raid. And the rare hones are only going to be on the purple and gold trucks. So if they're not there, yeah, exactly. Just reset and check your next ones. Reset and check your next ones. It might take some time, but trust me, the rare hones are so valuable. They're so important. Like, it's worth a little bit of a headache. And they just recently done an update here where they act like they used to have it where they would give you ones that you couldn't actually win against. But now they're actually giving you ones that are actually balanced so you have a chance against. So it might be a little annoying. But there's another rare one. Go ahead and get that one. See if you can't capture that one on a raid. But you're going to do that every day. Try to grab yourself, 3, 4, 5 hones if you can. You see what I'm saying? And then save those hones and use them during the honing event. Specifically during that honing event. Yeah, Elena Bella, save that as your 1.
Now, yep. So just push 1.
Save it. Click the save button. You gotta go click the folder. And then click 1. And then save. There you go. Okay. And now you can just click the X button. And go smash face. Start challenge. Whee! You didn't get it though. Oh well. But that's what you want to do. You want to get as many of those rare hones as you can, save them all up, and use them during honing events. All right?
Okay. I'll go back to that later.
Yeah, we still got time. So I want to touch into one last thing before we because we've pretty much done a lot of what we do for a lot of people is just kind of giving a lot of that focus. The last thing I want to touch base on and talk about though is beasts. So let's go into your beasts real quick. Do you understand how beasts work?
I'm going to say no. And the reason why I'm going to say that, I've got an idea.
Sure.
But that could be either correct or it could be completely false.
Okay. So without going too long, because I notice we've been talking here for a while, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. The basic rundown of beasts is very simple. Just think of it this way. Your beasts are entirely internal in their own system. Okay? Beasts do not deal damage to troops. Beasts deal damage to beasts. Okay?
Okay.
That's it. The damage only gets translated and transferred after the beast HP is entirely gone. But even in that situation, you would assume if the beast has no more HP, it's no longer dealing damage too, correct?
Right.
That's not true. Even if your beast is dead, it is still dealing beast damage. The HP is simply a blocking mechanism, a defense mechanism, between when you start to take the additional damage or not. So beasts are entirely avoidable if you simply recall your march when your beast dies. So when your beast HP is dead, if you recall your march and resend your beasts, you're going to refresh that beast HP and prevent any beast damage from coming through. Okay? Now, do you know when your beast dies? Do you know what indicates your beast is no longer dead or is no longer alive?
No, sir.
Okay. On your field march icon, there's a small little image of what your beast type is, whether it's physical, fire, grass, or water. You know what I'm talking about?
I have an idea. Let's see if I'm right.
Yeah, send out a march. Doesn't matter which one. Create a squad. Send out... Yeah, perfect. Send out Chasey Felix with your beast. Click march.
Oh. I hit the wrong button.
Don't we all? Okay, so you see how, even on the right-hand side, you see how there's an image of the blue dot? The blue water dot?
Yes.
When that goes dim, your beast HP is dead. When that color goes dim, your beast HP is no longer there. So when that goes dim, if you recall and resend, you're avoiding beast damage. Granted, that gets to be a big pain in the butt if you're having to do that right off the bat because your beast isn't very strong and it's dying within the first couple seconds of battle. That's annoying. But this is also where we have to start talking about being efficient with what we're using in the field. Remember how we're talking about armaments inflating your might and inflating your rating?
Yes.
Beasts kind of do the same thing, but the game takes into account your top 10 strongest beasts. Only your top 10 strongest beasts. Okay? So if we recall, go into your beast setup, and if we look at all the beasts that you have, only the top 10 are being counted towards your might. This means that you can collect one of every beast and not worry about it inflating your might because it's only counting the top 10. Now, why am I going to suggest having one of every beast? Well, I believe we talked about this last time, correct? It's specifically for the event that we have that's going on, I believe, right now. Or it actually just ended, sorry. The one where you have to put a beast... No, the one where you have to put a beast in every spot to earn points. Do you know the event that we just had that went by? If you go to the menu for a second, or go to the calendar for a second. I think we just ended yesterday, so it should still be in the calendar. Scroll down. The off-limits war, or the off-limits exploration, that one.
Okay.
So this is the one where you have to put a beast in every one of those three, like you got 4 sections and there's 3 spots in every section.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So you want to keep one beast of every one just so that you can fill them all in and get all your points. But I noticed a couple of things that we want to talk about, which is also inflating your might, making things harder for you. Go back to your beasts for a second and look at your blue and your green beasts. You have the green they're +8 copies, +5, +5.
Yep.
This is all extra shit that you could have demolished and used to get the beast fragments that you need, just like armaments. So, let me just give you a quick rundown. When it comes to beasts, it's basically the same as armaments, right? You only want to have as minimum as you can. Any other copies that you have, dismiss them. Use those parts to get the fragments for the beast fragments and the chips that you need. Okay? So it's the same. The only difference with beasts is going to be asking yourself, well, how do I pair them together? What's the best ways to pair them? All that kind of stuff, right?
Right.
But I'm going to be honest with you. Unless you're planning to whale out, you're going to play with what the game is lucky enough to give you. Okay? You're going to focus on what the game is nice enough to give you fragments for, nice enough to give you pieces for, and you're going to work on those sets. Now, as a rider main who has the responsibility of doing garrisons and rallies, you are focusing on your physical beasts first and foremost, right? You want to make sure that your physical beast, your garrison, whether it's your crystal pangolin, like I noticed your crystal pangolin level 66, but fully transcended. Have you put any pristine life and potential into it? Okay, so you've done a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would continue the focus on on your physical beasts, on your rally beast and your garrison beast, even the elite ones, right? Even the elite ones are going to be good enough until you get your legendary to at least a +7 or +8. Okay, so you're going to use your crystal pangolin until your hammer pangolin gets up to at least a level or a +7 or a +8. Okay, so it's just like how you're doing your armaments, where an elite armament is as good as a level 3 legendary. It's the same. A fully done up elite is worth half of a legendary. Okay, and this is coming from a guy who had his crystal pangolin done all the way, fully pristine life, fully potentialed, fully everything, and only recently just dismissed it to updo my hammer pangolin. Do you get what I'm saying?
Okay, so so the way that I have it right now is I have my hammer pangolin as my lead, and then I have the crystal pangolin as its support.
You would want to go the other way around. Lead with your crystal pangolin and go with your hammer pangolin as support. And I'll tell you why.
Support.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. If you look at his third skill, look at the third skill on the crystal pangolin. When in a rally or garrison, increases own attack and defense based on the number of troops in the squad and the troops' attributes up to a maximum of 250% of own attributes. When triggering a counterattack, active skill damage increases by 15% the next time the active skill is used. If you have this guy as support, you're losing out on all of that. And if you click on your other pangolin, your hammer pangolin, for example, and go to his third stat, it's only providing 250%, and it's not providing the bonuses that you get. It's not providing the bonus skill damage that you're getting from the crystal pangolin. You see what I'm saying? So if you lead with this one, you're not getting the full benefits of leading with the other one and getting the bonus for it being fully transcended. You see that when triggering a counterattack, active skill damage increases by 15%?
Right.
That comes when you level it up.
So this in turn is actually going to help me because of that.
No. Because remember, the beasts only fight other beasts. So the skill damage that they're talking about increasing is only within the beast system. The counter damage that they're talking about is not the counter damage that we spoke about earlier. This is only counter damage that's held within the beast system. It only gets transferred to real damage once the beast HP is gone. Do you see what I'm saying? This is where it starts to get a little complex. But it's easy once you understand that the beast is entirely an internal thing. It only does skill damage to other beasts. It only does counter damage to other beasts, combo damage to other beasts. It will get transferred to real troop death after the beast is done, but it's still not doing counter or skill damage or anything like that to the troops. It's a transfer damage afterwards. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yes.
Right? So once we understand that everything is included within the beast system, we talk about the counter damage, the skill damage, the activated damage, all that stuff is included specifically within the beasts. It's only being done to beasts, not being done to your troops, not influencing your troops, not influencing your troop damage, any of that kind of stuff. The stats that you get from the beasts are only within the beasts themselves and only influence when the other beast HP is gone. Okay? Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. The biggest question that people have is, how do I pair them? And I'll give you the best advice that I can, not with your specific situation on who you would pair them with, but I'll give you the information so that you can decide on who you want to pair them with. Let's look at your crystal pangolin for a second. And let's look at its attributes. So currently your crystal pangolin has 130 combo and 65 counter, correct?
Correct.
Do you understand how that works and what that means?
Combo is with the other beast associated with it. And the counter, of course, it's, countering whatever's being thrown at me.
All right, so let's break this really easy for you. Click the question mark by the special attributes button. This is what it actually breaks down into. In the beast, there are two types of damage, indirect and direct. Unless otherwise specified, all damage caused by active skills and leader skills is considered direct damage. Indirect damage is follow-up damage, residual, or status effects such as corrosion or what's the other one? Detonation. But here's the thing. Those numbers that you have, the skill numbers that you have, will always convert to a trigger rate regardless of what hero you have. So you know how you said that 130 combo is related to the other beast, correct?
Yeah.
No, that's incorrect. This combo is still something that your hammer pang or your crystal pangolin can do based on its combo trigger rate. So 130 combo equates to about a 17% trigger rate. Click on your special attributes for me. Scroll down, 17.8% trigger rate. Okay? Your crit or your counter at 65 provides 9.8% trigger rate. Now what this means is whenever your biochemical beast deals damage in battle, they have a 17.8% chance to trigger a combo. When they receive damage in battle, they have a 9.8% chance to trigger a counter. Okay? This means that you can stack all three of these abilities, combo, counter, and crit, on every single beast. It doesn't have to be just what they do. Okay? And why is this important? Why am I mentioning this? Well, this is perfect. You actually have a perfect example. You've got 65 counter and 130 combo, right? But then why, if I have exactly twice as much counter as I have, or twice as much combo as I have counter, how come my combo isn't exactly twice as much trigger rate? Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I guess I don't understand that one.
Okay, so you have 130 combo, right? And 130 combo equates to a 17.8% trigger rate. Correct. If we went at half of that, at 65, which is what you have for counter, you would assume that that percentage should be half of 17.8%, right?
Correct.
But it's not. It's a little bit more than that. So what we've determined is that the lower the points that you have in the skill, the more value each of those points is worth. Okay? This is called diminishing returns. So your counter at 65 provides 9.8, almost 10% trigger rate. Doubling it should equal a 20% trigger rate, but it doesn't. It equals only 17%. So the more that we're starting to add those points into your trigger rate ability, the less value you're actually getting for the combo rate trigger percentage. Do you get what I'm saying now?
Yes.
Okay. What this means is, for us average player or the average spender, things like that, we want to balance those out as much as possible, because the more that you dump into one, the less value you're getting out of it. And I think you need something like 1,000 in the stat to have like a 70% trigger rate. So my question is very simple. Would you rather have one stat that is a 70% chance to trigger, or three stats that each have a 30% chance to trigger? What makes more sense?
I would say the one because it's going to trigger more.
But you're going to have one that triggers 70% of the time, or three that trigger each 30% of the time?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
If you have three, if you have three of them, then you have the amount of three to be able to hit it at the same time, or more of a possibility, versus the one.
Now, it's not saying that you can't take and put 1,000 points into crit and crit 80% of the time, but that comes down to, again, playing at the absolute cream of the crop, top percentage of the game, when 2% matters. For the average player, the most amount of impact you're going to get is by having the most amount of balance across these three skills. So when you're asking yourself, who do I pair these with, you have to think about what those attribute skill rates your support beast is bringing. Because based on your development, go to your development for me for real quick. Inside your beast house, top left button, the house button, and then press the development button, and then scroll as far to the right as you can. Okay, so you've got plain survival, you got combo support 4. You're working on getting combat support 5, which means that currently 50% of your support beast, click on combat support 4 for me. This is providing you with 50% support beast inheritance, which means that the support beast that you pair your main beast with, you're getting 50% of all of its stats. Okay? All of its attack, all of its HP, all of its defense, all of its combo, all of its crit, all of its counter, all of that stuff. You're getting 50% of it, up to a max of 70% once you get combat 7 or 6 done, or 5 done, combat support 5. Which means that the stronger that your co-beast is, your support beast is, the more influence you're getting to stack those trigger rates. So, who do you pair your beasts with? Whichever beasts you have that'll help you balance those stats. So for me, I like to pair the hammer pangolin or the crystal pangolin typically with the crab or the Pluto jellyfish. Just because the giant claw crab or the king crab provide combo and corrode. The mimic jellyfish provides combo and corrode. And if you stack the pangolin, who provides crit and counter, now you can get crit, counter, combo, and corrode. That's 4 damaging abilities onto one beast. Do you see what I'm saying? Does that make sense, how we're trying to stack those triggering abilities to basically make sure that they're hitting as hard as possible?
Yeah, so what you're trying to do is you're trying to add more, I'm going to use the word skills.
Right.
Or more attributes to give more of a punch.
Right. And you can see this based on what we're getting. So if you go back to that for a second, click the support button for a second. This will actually break it down. So your main beast is providing 52,787 HP, and you're getting 35,000 from your support beast. All the counter that you're getting from your attributes, you're getting 65 counter from your support beast. You're getting 5.5% combo damage from your support beast. And that's going to be coming from the chips that you have on them. Okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? So when you're asking yourself, who do I pair them with? It's really you're going to pair them with who can give you the most bang for that buck based on how those counter, combo, and crit stats stack up.
So what I'm going to do...
Disconnect all your beasts?
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, all the supports.
Yeah. So what I would suggest doing, actually, there's two things that we can do real quick. If you disconnect all your support beasts and then take off all your chips. Because the chips are just like armaments. The only difference is you actually want to put chips on your co-leading beast, your support beast. Because the inheritance includes the chips that they have as well. I also wish there was an easier way to disconnect all your beast stuff. And remember, all we want to focus on is the beasts that we're going to use in our marches and the co-leading or the support beasts for those beasts. So we have how many marches that we're concerned with?
3.
So then how many beasts do we need to be concerned with?
3.
Nope.
Well,
6.
6.
That's right. 6.
3 sets, but 6 beasts.
That's right. 6 beasts. And that's also going to include 36 chips. So you start to see how working on multiple sets, multiple marches gets very expensive very quickly. Right? Yes. Because chips are super impactful, super influential. And they're able to do a lot of manipulating of your stats and attributes to make things like heavy hitting, light hitting, adding more stats, taking all of them away. Chips are super, super, super influential. Which is why I'm surprised they haven't done genes yet. I think they actually realized that they made a mistake with chips. And here's another thing. Having all of this extra chips on all these extra beasts is doing a lot to inflate our might. Because remember, every one of these 10 beasts, the top 10 beasts that you have fully chipped up, right? That's all inflating to our might. All inflating to our battle rating. Especially if you have them on these green and blue beasts that you're never going to use. Okay, so here's what I would do. Go to your very top. So your very top strongest beast currently is your crab, right? General Crab. So if I was looking to make this the best setup that I could, I would look at doing 3 things. You want to set up your garrison line, you want to set up your rally line, and you want to set up your fighting line. Because your garrison and your rally lines can still be used in the field. The pangolin and the bull still have efficacy in the field. Okay? They still do decent damage, so you can still use them that way. But we want to set it up in a way that you're still going to create balance within those fighting lines. Because it wouldn't make sense to have one of your marches have super strong beasts while your other 2 are just getting shit kicked, right? So we want to have some balance in those beasts as well. So what I would do is I would look at your 1st and your 6th beast. Well, first, I mean, your 6th is just so happens to be your rallying beast. So I would look at your rally beast, and I would set your rally beast as your lead beast and put your crab as your support to it. And you're going to ask me why. It's okay. This is where you normally ask me why.
Oh, why?
Okay. Again, if you look at the third skill and the first skill in specific, the first skill is probably the main reason. The third skill is more for rallies and garrison, but the first skill, you're providing a 360% increase on your attack. So on your 3.5 million, you're basically doing 10,000 damage, right? Just for being in the field. When it's in a rally, it's times by 5.4% or 5.4 instead. So you're doing 15,000 damage every 6 seconds inside of that. Okay. Now you can level this guy up, level him up so that you're increasing his HP, his attack, and his defense, and then dump pristine and life into him, pristine life and potential to increase his base core attributes. But you're still getting the reason why he's a benefit at a plus 11. Okay, because his skills are going to be higher leveled. They're going to be doing more damage. And just like he gets, when deployed, damage of squad heroes goes up by 1.5%. Right? So you're not getting that if he's not in the leader position. Now, what you're also benefiting from is the fact that you're putting your strongest beast as your co-lead, which is going to give you 50% of your strongest beast stuff. Okay, so it's good to back up that with. And it's only a +5, so you're not losing out on a lot of the skill damage and stuff like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for the squad damage reduction.
Right. So it becomes one of those things where it's just it does seem counterproductive, but until your general crab is a higher number, like a higher plus percentage, which denotes what his skill damage is. Right? It's the same as when you're using an elite versus a legendary. Your legendary is as good when it's halfway there, and halfway there is +7 or +8. Right? So once you get it to a +8 or a +7, you can look at switching them around at that point. But that's, again, part of the next bit of advice that I'll give you every couple of months, whatever. Take all your chips off, disconnect all your beasts, see which beasts are your top 6 again, and then reconnect them and swap them out at that point. Because you'll continuously get new frags for the beasts, right? As the game goes on. So the game might give you more fragments for a different beast, and eventually it'll be stronger than the ones that you have now. So every couple of months, disconnect all your beasts, take off all your chips, see what your top beasts are, repair them, re-chip them, and go from there. Okay? So I would go as this pairing would be one of probably your top pair for your rally, at least. Every time you're sending your rally out or anything like that, you'll send out these beasts. For your garrison beast, I would probably just look at doing the 2 pangolins that you had. So go to your crystal pangolin, lead with your crystal pangolin, support with your other pangolin. Yep, support with your hammer. And then the last ones that you had, which are your that one, and I believe the other crab.
So lead with purple first, and then.
In this situation, because your other one is a +8, you could actually lead with your rhino. Because it's so I'd lead with the rhino and go secondary with that one. And then just look at chipping up those 6 beasts. So the top 6 beasts that you have all paired up, put your chips on them. And then we'll talk real quick about chips. Go to your chips for a second. Do you understand how the arrays work? Like the 2-piece and 4-piece array?
Nope.
Okay. So if you go to you look here, there's 6 pieces, right?
Right.
It works into 2 different sets. You've got your brain and your spine is one set, and you've got your legs and your feet is another set. Okay? So,
yes.
Right, so your brain and your spine work together, and then your legs and your feet work together. You want to make sure that you have those sets the same chip type. So you see here, for example, you've got, of all the elites, you've got one of each of the three. You've got the burst chip, go to the one down below. Yeah, you've got the ember chip, and you've got the breaker chip. Okay? So each of these are going to do their own thing. One's going to do counter damage, one's going to do crit damage, one's going to do combo damage. So you can choose which stat you want to upgrade based on the chips that you want to put in there. Okay? Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see where it says in the breaker array, 2-piece array, counter damage plus 4.5%?
Yep.
Okay. So if you go to your brain chip for a second, click on your brain chips and choose, that's a good one. Put in your breaker chip. Now go to your spine and put in your breaker chip. What we've now done is we've activated a 1-star 2-piece array retaliation framework. So we've added an extra 6% counter damage just by having those ones be the matching pair.
Oh, wow. No, see, I didn't know any of this either.
So if you have that matching pair, you're going to get that additional array benefit. Okay? Now it works the same way with your feet and arms. So if you have this one, the ignition chip, go ahead and equip your ignition chip. Go to your other arm, put your ignition chip. We've already added an additional 150 combo by putting this chip in and getting your 2-piece array because you've got 2 of the matching. Go to your leg for a second. Okay, so you don't have the breaker chip for your leg, but go put in that one. No, put in the, put in that chip right there. Put that chip in. And then go to your other leg and put the matching chip in. Now we have an additional 70 crit, right? We've added an additional 70 crit because now you have another pairing from another set. Do you see what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Now, what you can do, this gives you some freedom to play around a little bit. But ideally, what you want is to get 4 of the same set. So whether you go 4 of the flame chip or 4 of the ember chip or 4 of the breaker chip for your arms and legs, it doesn't matter. Because if you click on the breaker chip on one of the arms, you'll see there's another additional 4-piece array penetration module. So if you have one of every of the 4 pieces for your arms and legs, you'll trigger and activate that penetration module as well. And if you look at that, there's a 60% chance to grant the leader combo an additional 13% for 3 seconds, which is huge. You see what I'm saying now?
Yes, I do now.
So there's lots of customization on how you want to add those attributes. So when we're talking about where we want to put those attributes, whether we put them into combo, crit, or counter, you now have the capability to put them on where you want them on the beasts that you want and customize them the way that you want. So if you need more combo, you put on the combo chips. If you want to do more counter, you put in the counter chips. If you want to do more crit, you put in the crit chips.
Okay.
And you keep them within that same array, and you'll start to see how they'll be able to be more influential. So now you're getting a bonus extra 70 crit and a bonus extra 70 combo or 50 combo, plus that extra 6% counter damage. So if you back out of here now and you look at your attributes for this beast, you're looking at 150 crit or combo, 70 crit, and we haven't even put any chips on the co-beast yet. So if we wanted to put counter chips on the co-beast, right, now we can start to add counter attributes to your lava rhino. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so now you go here, look at their chips, and see if we can put counter chips on this guy. So go to the brain. Let's see what you have options for brain. I think you've got combo. What's the other one down below? Yeah, that's combo. What's the other purple? So that's counter damage. So if you wanted to increase some of your counter damage, you can go that way. Check out your arms and legs for a second. We'll work on those ones first because that's what's going to add your attributes. So this could add more combo if you went with your legendary chip. That'll add 160 combo. Or you could go with the counter chips in purple if you wanted to go that way. I would obviously put the legendaries just because the legendaries are so much more valuable. You're getting a lot more out of it. Just by putting that one, you're getting 160 combo versus putting another one, you're only getting a little bit. And if you equip that one, because it's also the pairing, you're getting an extra 80 combo now. So you're getting 200 combo. You see what I'm saying? See how it starts to stack up? You've even got the pair. You've even got the third pair. Do you have the fourth pair on the other foot? Almost. So now you're only missing one elite or one legendary to get you the 4-piece array for the waterfall chipset. So now you kind of have an idea on what you're going to be focusing your chip fragments on.
Okay.
Do you see how this customization kind of comes into play now? You can kind of play around with which ones you have and how they kind of work. Do you have a better understanding on how those arrays work?
Yes. So since I have the legendary, the current chip right here, which does the combo damage for that, I would need to try to get the same one for the spine.
That's right. In order to get the bonus 4.5% combo damage from the 2-piece array. Because remember,
right,
they're each, like, even though your brain and chip are still using the same one as what your hands are, they're not the same array. Do you see what, remember when I mentioned that your brain and spine are one set and your hands and feet are another set?
Correct.
So you cannot use the one that's in your brain to count for the 4-piece array bonus on the hands and feet. You actually have to get the 4 pieces on your hands and feet.
Okay, so since this one is the combo, I would need to find the combo for this one.
Which is the other double sorted one. So you've already got the double sorted one for your left or for your left foot. And then if you go to the right foot, that just means that the only one that you need to get for your right foot is the combo one to have the full set for the 4-piece array. Now, that's good to have for now because it'll obviously help you in filling out that position, but that's the piece that you'll need to fix. And once you get that one legendary piece, it'll trigger your 4-piece combo array for your legendaries.
Okay, let's do this real quick. So this is the title and chip. So I need the title and chip for the right leg.
Yeah, title chip for your right leg.
Let's see.
Title plus for your blue combo. You can click the combo at the top. And it'll break it down into just the combo chips. There you go. Title for your right leg. You need 58 frags. Go figure, hey?
Right.
Well, I mean, but that's the thing. That you know which one. You need one frag to be able to get that next one. And then you work on the spine for that set. And just work with what the game is good enough to give you. Right? So if you go back to your beasts for a second, go back to your main beast and look at its attributes now. Because of what you've put on your other beast, you're now at 270 combo versus the 160 that you had before. And that's just from chips.
So during Beast Invasion.
Yep.
Beast Invasion. First stuff. So the counter damage, the gold, would really work well for that one.
Well, I'll give you my best advice when it comes to the beast breakdown here as well. Because I'm seeing a couple things that you're doing well and a couple things I'm a little curious about. So you're doing the right idea, but I'll give you a bit of advice. The purples and the gold skills are not worth it. Stick to blues. Like
because they show up more.
Because they show up far more often. And I will get, like, you have a plus 30 on your attack, a plus, like a 10 times 10, and you've only got a 6% HP because it only came up once for you, and 1 on your 4.5% HP. So ignore the purples and golds, stick to blues only. And then focus on, just because from what we've learned today, right, the benefit is to have a balanced aspect across all 3 skill types, right? So my best advice for the biochemical beast buffs, right, you look at the combo damage, crit damage, counter damage, combo trigger rate, crit trigger rate, counter trigger rate, and then attack and HP. Those are your 8 buffs that you want. Right? Counter, combo, crit, counter damage, combo damage, crit damage, attack, and HP. And you get them all in blue and let them level up as best you can. And you should see a decent return on those levels. Like, I don't know what level you're up to now.
Area 52, stage 4, with no helps.
Yeah.
Nobody's helped me.
So you should see, and once we get your beasts, and once you get your beast handled a little bit better, you take your top 6, get your 6 lines, and then just make your, because remember, you have to look at 10 anyways. So you still want to look at the next 2 range and still pair out your next 4 beasts so that you still have 5 that you can do beast invasion, stuff like that. But again, it's really going to come down to, a lot of it just comes down to leading on those 3 main marches that you have. Make sense? So you look at something like that, well, all of a sudden now you look at your main beast attributes. Yeah, 270 combo, which is going to equate to about a 20-something, like a 23% trigger rate, I think. 31% trigger rate. So now you're at a situation where you're, 31% of the time compared to where you were before, triggering a combo whenever you deal damage.
Gotcha.
Right? And you have a 10% chance to critical damage as well. And then once you level up the beast itself and you get it with like potential and pristine life, that's where you start to increase its attributes by its own right. So if you look, for example, at its potential, go to rank up, for example, and go to potential and then look at the pristine life. If you click on through the bubbles to look up towards them, I believe the one at level 40. Right, so you start to increase crit damage, go up to the one above it. That's where you add crit trigger rate. And that's just going to add straight flat numbers to your hero or to your beast. Make sense?
Yep.
Now, potential. Sorry, go ahead.
You've helped me to the point where now I can start actually seeing what the dots really are and connecting them, because I did not know what those were.
It's like I said, there's the game itself isn't very descriptive. It comes down to the players and the community to kind of wade through the stuff. But this is also why a lot of people aren't hitting as hard as they probably want to, aren't as impactful as they'd like to be, because they're missing out a lot of these important steps. Like pristine life for your beasts, right, is super important to make those beasts valuable, but again, super expensive. So I would focus on everything, like for me, because I'm a garrison player, I focus everything on my garrison set, right? Everything on my garrison set. So my garrison beast, that's where all my pristine life is going. Once my pristine life is going there, then I can go to my support beast for that garrison line. Let the rest grow naturally, but hyper focus on one march at a time, one beast at a time, one setup at a time that you're going to be the strongest at, whether that's rallies or garrisons or field fighting, right? Pick it and work it one at a time. Does that make sense?
So this here, yes. So this here I would use for my garrison.
Yep.
See what we got. So That one is critical, combo, combo, counter.
Mm-hmm. And it'll be the
So for
same
Garrison,
with all the same sets.
you would want mainly counter because that's what you're trying to do. Is you're trying to protect it.
Doesn't matter. Remember, this
No?
is the biggest thing. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the percentage, because here's the thing. When you go back and it says that this beast is providing counter and crit, right? Like this beast is providing counter and crit. That's what it does, correct? Garrison counter crit?
Yep.
That's only when you use pristine life to trigger those attributes and and awaken those attributes. And that's only what it's naturally providing. But this doesn't mean that your crystal pangolin cannot do combo damage. If you put combo chips on him or pair him with a combo beast, you damn straight he can do combo damage, and you damn straight he can benefit combo damage. They can absolutely trigger every single basic ability based on their set. All that this is telling you, all that those numbers tell you, is what it's naturally providing when you pristine life it. It's naturally providing crit and combo or encounter. So if you stack crit and counter on it, you're working with what it's going to naturally provide you. But again, what we discovered is that the returning or diminishing returns means we want to get those three stats as balanced as we can. So in my opinion, if your beast is naturally providing crit and counter, what do I want to balance it with?
Combo.
Yeah. Now, I might not necessarily put the Echo chip in to do combo damage. That's just going to be a personal preference. If you want to do combo damage, crit damage, or counter damage, whichever you're going to be more heavy on. But when you look at the arms and legs, because that's what's providing that's what's going to provide your actual stats. Your left leg is what's going to provide your basic one, your counter, crit, or combo. That's where you're going to be looking at it. So do I want to add counter, do I want to add combo, or do I want to add crit? And in my opinion, it's better to add combo because your beast is naturally, as it upgrades, going to be adding crit and counter. Combo is where you're going to be lacking on it the most.
Okay, and I've got combo for both.
So then pair it up. And if you wanted to, go down to the legs. And what's the other leg? No, the other leg spot, sorry. Oh, you almost had another full matching set for the other one. But yeah, equip that one because you're getting physical reduction, and then equip another purple on the other side. Doesn't matter which one. You'll get the chain chip for it eventually. Right, so that's going to provide crit damage reduction, which is perfect because a lot of things doing a lot of crit damage. But you start to see how these chips give you a lot of flexibility. Right, it gives you a lot of flexibility to put the attributes that you want, or the ones that you're like I said, lucky enough to get in the game. And I would equip that one anyways because if you look, I'll give you a prime example. Here's a prime example. Look at the level 2, the 2-star chip, the 2-star purple that you have. It provides 13.5% beast crit damage reduction, right?
Yep.
What does your legendary provide you? 13.5% crit damage reduction. So it's already providing you better. It's already providing you the same at level 0.
Right. Okay.
So I would easily go with the legendary over the elite.
Okay, so
and here you can go with crit damage, counter damage, or combo damage. What does your beast do most of right now?
I'm sorry, it does counter and crit mostly.
So then I would look at doing counter damage because you're doing more counter damage right now than anything else. That's what you're triggering the most of. So I would look at the brain and one that's going to do counter damage. And do you have the spine chip for that one? Oh, you don't. You're still missing that one. So maybe do the crit damage
But
one
I
because at
have,
least you're getting the benefit from it. Yeah. And then switch that one to the crit chip. Perfect. So now you're getting the 2-piece array set damage. And then all you need to do is fix the 1 piece and you'll get the 4-piece array for the other side.
so this one.
Just, I mean,
Counter.
yeah, fill it with counter or fill it with crit, whatever ones you got the most of that you can get some bonuses out of.
Now, I see the star already here. You see what I'm talking about on the right-hand side? Versus, see how these don't have nothing there?
Mm-hmm.
But that one's got the chain array.
Because you have that one equipped to your other guy.
Okay, so if I'm capable of equipping the same exact ones for both leader and support,
It won't. It'll take it
gonna-
off of your other one.
oh, it will?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, if you try to equip that one right now, it'll tell you it's taking it off the other beast.
Oh, no, you're right, because I see that the other beast is in the top corner
Yeah.
on the left. My bad. Okay.
No, that's
So
fine.
I've only got these two to choose from, so it's either crit or counter. Crit.
Yeah, so you have the pairing chipped either way, so I would go with whichever one you want to do more of. Counter looks good to me.
Both of them have 1 stars under them, so.
Yep. No, that's a benefit too. And I think you even have the 3rd piece there. But you're missing the 4th piece on the other side. But that's fine. You still put the 3rd piece in. No. You just swap the from your main beast.
Yep, I sure did, didn't I?
But you can start to see how there's a lot more like flexibility in things. You have a lot more like you can be a lot more strategic with how things work now. You don't have to necessarily just fall back on, whatever the game is going to. You can be a little bit more strategic in how they place. If you don't have any purples, equip your best blue for now and then replace that blue as fast as you can. I'd still throw that one is probably best just to get you the crit damage reduction. Because you can't get anything on a 3-piece anyway, so it's not a problem.
So combo.
You can combine your combo chips together. Or do your counter damage. That would work too. Or do you just have the other combo chip up top? Yeah, do the combo chips. Because you've got the matching spine to go with it. And I would upgrade that one as well. Go back up to your brain. Yeah, you can manage that one. Perfect.
So get me 6%.
So now you know which ones you have to work on, which ones you can pick up, which ones you can replace, right? So now we've got 4. Let's take care of the last 2. Which is your bull and your crab.
So crit.
Counter. Just put your top blue. That's fine. Yeah, just your top blue is fine. Because these would be the first ones that you get out of there. I'd put the other purple, yeah. Because even in this situation, a level 1 purple is better than level 1 blue, no problem. You can level up your other one as well. Got to click the little lock button. Yeah.
Fat fingers, small phone.
Yeah, no doubt. That's why I play on PC, man. I stopped as soon as I... Okay, and then go to your last crab for your last one for your 6. Let's chip it up.
Counter damage.
If you got the matching counter, then put counter. Beautiful. If you've already got the counter chips for the brain and spine, I would look at trying to see if you have the other matching ones for all of it. You've got the matching arms already. I'm not sure about your legs, though. Yeah, that one. I would put the crit ones to pair the crit ones together, because that way you can get an extra 50 out of it. And then you can switch those over when you get the regular chips to go with them. So that's basically going to give you your top 3 lines to the best of your abilities currently. Right? Your garrison line, your rally line, a field fighting line, the 3 things that you're going to need to do. And then I would simply take your next 4 beasts, pair them, like the next 4 strongest beasts that you have, your 2, right? Just as they are. The 2, like the saber tooth, and then the Pluto jellyfish with the other one. Is that 2 red saber tooths that you have? No. I'm just going crazy.
No. No, what I did is that I did
I see what you did.
Purple saber-tooth with support. And then, so I would use this as lead with support.
Yep. And then just chip those out with the best chips that you have. Just quick chip those ones, it doesn't matter. You can just hit the quick chip button.
There's a quick chip. Oh, right there. Okay.
Because remember, these ones are mostly just placeholders. The other 2 beasts you still need to chip up. The other saber-tooth and the bull. Now that's going to give you your top 10 beasts. What's in your, hold on, what is that? You have a warning or a notification on your other saber-tooth chip? Oh, it's letting you level it up. Level it up. Beautiful. More counter damage reduction. Perfect. Okay, so that's going to give you your top 10 beasts. Do not put chips on anything else. You do not need chips on anything else. When you get other copies of these blue and green beasts, what I want you to do is dismiss the leveled up one and keep the level 1 copy 1. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, so get rid of the original one I have and keep the brand new one that comes in.
That's right. And just keep them a level 1 copy and demolish all the other greens and blues that you end up getting, because you'll be able to use those for fragments for the legendary beasts and chips that you want. But you got to start saving up now. So anytime I get a new green or a blue, I dismantle or demolish or set free, or however they want to say it, to make it more cost effective in the long run. Okay?
Okay.
Now, before we wrap up, this has been a lot longer than I wanted to, but it's been fun and informative. I have one thing I want to talk about in regards to one thing that I saw, and I want to get clarification on. Go to your account for me, your profile, and show me your squads. Okay. Looking pretty good. Obviously, you want to get above 1 million riders as quick as you can.
AR was a real fun one.
Yeah, I can appreciate that. The rest of it looks good. The only advice that I would give you, if I can be honest, destroy your 300,000 cars, your 300,000 Tier 6 cars.
Destroy them?
Yeah. Build 150,000 Tier 1 cars and use those to farm instead. And I'll tell you why. Now, this is personal preference, but I'll tell you why. If you go to your barracks and you go click train for a second, click on the little exclamation mark button at the top left. So what we're actually talking about is the attributes of the troops. If you look at a Tier 1, okay, a Tier 1 has a travel speed of 1095 with a load of 18 and a might of only 1. It also only costs wood and food to build, and healing is almost instantaneous. Even if you're healing 50,000 of these bad boys, it's almost instantaneous. Okay? Go to your level 6 troop for a second. Remember, 1095 and 18. Go to your level 6 one, click the exclamation mark. Travel speed is only 860, and the load is only 32. But the might is 15. So this is adding 15 times the might for a slower troop that simply holds more and brings back an additional 10% resources, but costs way more to heal, costs way more to train, and inflates your might.
Gotcha.
So here's the question. What's more valuable to you? The additional 10% resources that you're getting from farming with Tier 6 cars? Or the cheaper cost, cheaper repair, faster speed, and way less might you get from Tier 1? What do you think is better?
I'm gonna say Tier 1, because when you go to sit there and heal your cars, T1s are like 3 seconds.
Not only that, they're cheaper to build, they're cheaper to maintain, they're cheaper for everything, and you only need to keep about 150,000 to be able to full march 5 troops on 5 nodes of your choice.
Gotcha.
Now, let me teach you a way to get rid of them without having to fight them in the field in losing battles that take forever. Click on your car barracks. Click on info. You can delete them manually by clicking the little minus button.
Let me ask a question.
Yep.
Am I going to get the resources and stuff back for building them?
Nope. Nope, you don't. You get nothing back for them.
Okay, well.
But here's the thing. If you look right here, this is a prime example. Those 300,000 cars that you had, which, again, you'll never use 300,000 cars ever in your life. You'll never need to use 300,000 cars ever in your life. Equates to almost 5 million might, 4.5 million might, which makes matchmaking harder, puts you in harder competition, all for nothing, literal nothing. So what I would do is I would dismantle them, disband them, send them away. Only build 150,000 Tier 1 cars, and that's it. And then stop building cars, period.
Oh, that hurt my soul.
It does a little bit. But here's the thing. When you start to remember that you'll never need to build them again, so you never have to worry about the costs associated with them again, the rest is moot. You'll never concern yourself with them again. I don't think I've built them. I don't think I've built cars. Like, I build Tier 3 cars every now and again just for rewards, just for the build 3,000 tier 3 troops within a day or whatever. So I might build tier 3 cars every now and again, but that's literally it. Other than this, we never have to build them, and you're saving resources on them from the beginning.
Okay, so I went from 186 to 177, but I'm in a much better position.
That's right. And the concept moving forward is more balanced. Because previous, from what I can tell, you were trying to do so much. And I think wholeheartedly, you just need to roll that in a little bit and focus on what you can be really, really good at. And I think you have the setup already to be a really dominant ranged or rider fighter. Fight with your team, rely on your infantry team, rely on your rider or your range team to do their things, and just be the best damn rider that you can be. Right? Put your resources into getting Chasey awakened and transcended. Put your resources into getting Rubina transcended and awakened. Daryl transcended and awakened. Prepare for the new heroes that'll be coming here in a couple of months. Right? Do everything you can to make your range or your riders hit just like Mack trucks. And you're already doing good with a 4.5 million hero out of your Chasey.
And you said, so let's check this out real quick, see which one will be the best one currently to upgrade. Increase basic attack damage, 290 for 5 seconds. Damage from range squad, 17.5.
Make sure you... No. You have to check out the actual Transcended Edition. Scroll down on the right-hand side.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't see that part.
Yeah, that's the edition that you're getting. So it's
Okay,
going
so
from
this I've already
it's going from 290. No, it's going from 290 to 330. If garrisoned, you're getting the reduction on basic attack damage and skill damage from range squads.
Okay.
So if you go up, for example,
sorry,
all that you're getting is garrisoned during the time to reduce the skill damage from range squads by 17.5%. If you transcend the ability, you're getting an additional 40% damage to your basic attack damage. You're getting a reduction in basic attack damage taken by 15% and skill damage from range squads by 20%. So you're getting an additional 15% reduction in basic attack damage from all types if you're garrisoned, and an additional 40% on your basic attack damage for your skill. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it's more that you're getting with that transcended ability. So let's just keep that in mind.
That'd be good for the garrison.
Mm-hmm. So this one's going to go from HP and a reduction in skill damage taken to, scroll down, a higher reduction in or a higher increase in HP, and I believe a higher reduction in skill damage taken as well. So I think you go from 30 to 38% HP, and then you go from the other one to that one.
Attack damage, 46. Silencing has a 50% chance to deal one additional basic attack. And it's 20 rage. So 46 to 55. 50 on basic attack health. AoE damage taken.
Yeah, this one adds the reduction. Basic attacks now have a 30% chance to reduce AoE damage taken by 20% for 3 seconds. So that's a whole different thing that advances. And these basic attacks grant 20 additional rage.
Okay. 32% for the attack. 10% damage. So add 1,800 for 3 units. Because I've got 3 riders. For each rider's squad, so 36. So 4%.
Oh, but there's a big difference here. Scroll up for a second. We're going to be looking at something here. In this ability, Before it's transcended, you're only getting the Rider Squad attack when she's garrisoned. After the skill is transcended, you get that Rider Squad attack all the time. Do you see the difference?
Rider Squad attack by 32 when garrisoned. Okay,
and then in the next one, there's a decimal before it says when garrisoned. So it's actually separating that, meaning that if you transcend this one, you're getting that Rider Squad attack in the field versus not getting it previously in the field.
Okay, so based on what I'm looking at, this one here will be the one to do because, and correct me if I'm wrong, I feel that this one would be the one to do because this will allow me to still continuously do either field or garrison with added benefit.
That's correct. I would look at doing either that skill or the one that's going to provide you a reduction in basic attack damage taken. So either your 1 or your 4, I think would be probably your best bets, especially if you're looking to fight more in the field or have a little bit more of that flexibility.
I think I'll go with this one, and then I'll do number 1 next.
So now you're just going to keep saving up fragments so you can drop them into the heroes that you need. All right.
And 4.
So with that all being said, buddy, I think we've pretty much gone through everything. We've gone through armaments, heroes, troops, beasts, chips. We've really touched on anything. Is there anything else you need help or advice from?
I don't think so.
Any other questions you have?
You've helped me out quite a bit. Now, I mean, I know what I need to do.
Save your marches. Now, with all that being said, I'm glad you guys have been sticking through. I know this was a long one, but it was a fun one. Lots of information. I hope you guys filled up your notepad and pen, because remember, there will be a pop quiz. I'm just kidding. No pop quizzes. But that all being said, guys, I want to say thanks a lot, folks, for joining. If you did if you've gotten this far, smash the like button. Comment down below what your favorite aspect of this new series is. And if you want to get involved, reach out to me in game. If you'd like to be a guest on either on Who TF Are You, on this episode, or on this series, pardon me, of Schools in Session, or if you have a suggestion for someone who should be focused on Garbage Day, reach out to me in game and let me know. I'm always open to new suggestions. Other than that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't, like, comment, subscribe, and if you can, click the join button and become a member today. For only about $5 American, you get to help the channel. You get your name on the end screen. You get access to emojis and chats. I do plan on going live here eventually. We're just in a situation where Starlink isn't great to stream on. And I live out in the middle of nowhere. So finding a streaming place for me, obviously expensive. We need as much help as we can get. So if you'd like to see more from the channel, consider clicking the join button and becoming a member today. Other than that, folks, love, peace, chicken grease, and until next time, stay lifted.
3, 2, 1.